Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. We're moving on to chapter 18. In those days, Israel had no king. The Danites settled in the Laish, and in those days, the tribe of the Danites was seeking a place of their own where they might settle, because they had not yet come into the inheritance among the tribes of Israel. So the Danites sent 5 of their leading men from Zorah and Eshtaol to spy out the land and explore it. These men represented all the Danites. They told them, "Go explore the land." So they entered the hill country of Ephraim and said to the house of Micah, where they spent the night. When they were near Micah's house, they recognized the voice of a young Levite. So they turned in there and asked him, "Who brought you here? What are you doing in this place? Why are you here?" He told them what Micah had done for him and said, "He has hired me and I am his priest." Then they said to him, "Please inquire of God to learn whether our journey will be successful." The priest answered them, "Go in peace. Your journey has the Lord's approval." So the 5 men left and came to Laish, where they saw that the people were living in safety, like the Sidonians, at peace and secure. And since their land lacking nothing, they were prosperous. Also, they lived a long way from the Sidonians and had no relationship with anyone else. When they returned to Zorah and Eshtaol, their fellow Danites asked them, "How did you find things?" They answered, "Come on, let's attack them. We have been in the land and it is very good. Aren't you going to do something? Don't hesitate to go there and take it over. When you get there, you will find an unsuspecting people and a spacious land that God has put into your hands, a land that lacks nothing whatsoever." Then 600 men of Danites, armed for battle, set out for Zorah and Eshtaol. On their way, they set up a camp near Kiriath Jearim in Judah. This is why the place west of Kiriath Jearim is called Mahane Dan to this day. From there, they went on the hill country of Ephraim and came to Micah's house. Then the 5 men who had spied out the land of Laish said to their fellow Danites, "Do you know that one of these houses has an ephod, some household gods, and an image overlaid with silver? Now you know what to do." So they turned in there and went to the house of the young Levite at Micah's place and greeted him. The 600 Danites, armed for battle, stood at the entrance of the gate. The 5 men who had spied out the land went inside and took the idol, the ephod, and the household gods, while the priest and 600 armed men stood at the entrance of the gate. When the 5 men went into Micah's house and took the idol, the ephod, and the household gods, the priest said to them, "What are you doing?" They answered him, "Be quiet, don't say a word. Come with us and be our father and priest. Isn't it better that you serve a tribe and a clan in Israel as a priest rather than just one man's household?" The priest was very pleased. He took the ephod, the household gods, and the idol and went along with the people, putting their little children, their livestock, and their possessions in front of them. They turned away and left. When they had got some distance from Micah's house, the men who lived near Micah were called together and overlooked the Danites. As they shouted after them, the Danites turned and said to Micah, "What's the matter with you that you called out your men to fight?" He replied, "You took the gods I made and my priest and went away. What else do I have? How can you ask, 'What's the matter with you?'" The Danites answered, "Don't argue with us, or some of the men may get angry and attack you, and you and your family will lose your lives. So the Danites went their way, and Micah, seeing that they were too strong for him, turned around and went back home. Then they took what Micah had made and his priests, and went on to Laish against a people at peace and secure. They attacked them with the sword and burned down their city. There was no one to rescue them, because they lived a long way from Sidon and had no relationship with anyone else. The city was in a valley near Beth Rehob. The Danites rebuilt the city and settled there. They named it Dan after their ancestor Dan, who was born to Israel. Through the city used to be called Laish. There the Danites set up for themselves the idol, and Jonathan, son of Gershom, the son of Moses, and his sons were priests for the tribe of Dan until the time of captivity of the land. They continued to use the idol Micah had made all the time the house of God was in Shiloh. And that's closing out to chapter 18. The Danites settle in Laish, and now you have another prophet who's written in the Bible that's making idols and carrying other gods alongside of them. This is where, I hear a lot of Israelites speak about how the Gentile are and how we're murderers and killers and thieves, and I don't deny it. We are murderers, killers, and thieves. We are rapists. We're all the crime that exists. It's all that. But it would also appear that Israel also are murderers, rapists, and thieves, because you are in the land of your enemies and you've taken on their gods. You're taking on their idols. The deal between Satan and the Most High was when the second man, Adam, was created in the garden. Satan had come to the Lord, Yahweh, I guess in this case, and said, hey, look, I don't know about this new creation of yours, man. There's nothing any different about them than us. They're no better than we are. And if you give us a time, we'll prove to you that your children are no better. No, now for me, this sounds like you have a technological breakthrough that's taken place with mankind at this particular thing at this time. And what they are doing is the Gentile, long time ago with technology, had somehow learned how to clone people, the same kind of technology that we're at with today. Okay, this is not hidden knowledge. This is not new knowledge of the ages, folks. This is all old knowledge. Technology today is old technology being reinvented. The same thing with the Tesla coil. The Tesla coil, Tesla knew about energy, free energy, a long time ago. Tesla wanted to give the people the free energy. There's no way that anybody can give anybody anything on this plane of existence that is free, because the government is going to come along and steal it from them. If not kill them, steal their information, steal their notes, their works of science. They're going to take it all from them. They're going to destroy them. They're going to break them. And then they're going to revise these technical technologies themselves. And then 100 years later, 130, 140 years later, they're just now coming into understanding what it was that Tesla was dealing with when he first started learning how to control electricity. So always consider that one God created a lowercase God, which was permitted, which was given power, which is a supreme divinity of the supreme creator, created a race, a Gentile race, the seed of Satan, a race that's the seed of Satan, created them on the sixth day, and then the Lord God, Yahweh, Elohim, created another man and breathed into this man's nostrils the breath of life, and he became a living being. And this is the difference between the Gentile race and the Hebrew race. One race is the walking dead, the other race is of the living, and then the walking dead and the living have been procreating with one another ever since. And this is possibly why the Supreme Creator put his spirit on the second man, Adam, so that it would be inside of this plane of existence, so that his spirit would be back in this plane, where before his spirit didn't dwell in man or anything until the second man was created. Just to make a note on that. Hope y'all have a pleasant day. This is White Raptor News Ministries.